What's up, you guys? What's up? It's me, your girl M. Williams. You see, I got my tree up. It's the holidays. I'm trying to be in this festive mood, you guys. In my little vlog area with the red sofa. And just coming on here really briefly just to talk about retirement and what does retirement look like for me. Just a little quick deep dive into what does retirement look like for me, what does it mean for me, So you guys, I've been telling all my clients I'm retiring. For some of them it might have been a surprise, for some of them not, because some of them said, okay, I know you went back to corporate, so I kind of had a inkling or a feeling that you may be retiring from here soon. To be honest, you guys, I didn't even know I was about to retire from the industry, to be in all honesty. But when I decided to go back to corporate America, my goal for that and my reasoning behind that was to get off my feet some. Because as I've mentioned in other videos with you guys, doing hair is very physical, not to try to harp on it or anything like that. I'm just being transparent as I always do on my channel. But, it's very physical. So you're standing, especially braiding, when I added braiding to my service menu. And to be honest, I started braiding when I still had my storefront. So I haven't had my storefront in about almost 4 years. So I started braiding, when I still had my storefront. A lot of my stylists, the majority of them were gone. And so I still had, my brand had been out there for many years. And so there were still customers coming. Even to this day, I still get a lot of calls from new clients. People are always looking for stylists and professional stylists, reliable stylists, stylists who know how to time manage, meaning if they have several clients in there, they know how to get them out and not have you waiting all day. Like, clients don't really mind if you have other clients when they walk in the door, but they want to make sure that they're being served and serviced, and you know how to time manage. So sometimes a lot of hairstylists don't know how to do that. If they have a lot of clients in there at one time, they don't know how to kind of keep them moving and keep it flowing so that clients can feel like, oh, they are being serviced and they're next, or they're going to be moving out the door soon so they can leave. Because the worst thing ever is a client don't want to sit in a salon all day. So I still had my storefront, and then I started braiding. I had another person there with me. She was braiding, and then at the time I still had my storefront and 2 salon suites. So still getting calls upon call upon call. And then I had been, in the meantime, on the back end, I had been kind of training myself on how to braid anyway. And then when I had my team and I had braiders, I always had braiders, at least a couple at a time. Because, everybody was natural, and a lot of people was finding with natural hair that it's like a big project. It's a process, if you will. So a lot of women, they start getting braids. So you start seeing a lot of people requesting braids. So I used to help my braiders do the braid downs, which you plait the braid down on a box braids or whatever, or the knotless. But I still didn't know how to do the technique of when you add the braiding hair at the roots. I didn't know how to do that. So I was not definitely a braider. But at some point, I would be training myself on how to braid, practicing and stuff like that, so that I can help out if and when needed. And so I started braiding. So you guys, when you braid, as you're standing on your feet for long periods of time. So, all that standing, that's very hard on your legs. It's hard on your veins and your arteries. It's hard on your physical body, your back, your arms, and all of that. So when I started braiding, and start practicing, and then felt confident enough and felt like I had the speed up and that my work, because I'm not going to offer any type of service if I feel like my work doesn't look good enough for a client to pay me. I'm not just all about trying to make money and I'm sending like bad work out the door. That's not me. to each his own, but for me, you know, if I'm learning something new or I'm gonna add something new to my service menu, I would always make sure that I'm doing it, you know, the work is neat, I'm doing it in an ample amount of time, like I'm not super slow, you know, all of that. So that's for me, that's the integrity that I have, and I'm just speaking of me, not nobody else. So that's what works for me. So once I started offering the braid services to clients, and I started posting my braid work, you know, people started calling me and trying to book with me, and I was surprised they were trying to book with me for braids. So that's kind of how I got into braiding, but not even thinking, okay, there's gonna be a lot of standing, which I was not used to, all that standing, because when I had my storefront, I had a lot of stylists, and I would just book the customers with them, and I would just maybe take a few customers every now and then, but I was mainly managing the salon and doing that. So my whole goal and motive when I did leave corporate America and open a storefront salon was to be a blessing to hairstylists, so that they can make money, earn a good living, and see that you can work in a storefront salon and it can be professionally ran. And so that was my whole promise to God and my whole promise to my team, that, you know, anybody that comes here or that God brings to my salon, I'm going to try to help them nurture, provide, try to be, you know, a great asset for them and be a benefit to them, to be able to help them. So that's the promise I made with God. When you make God these promises, you guys, nobody else know what promise you made to God. You know, you're not out here telling people in the interview, well, I promised God, you know, that if anybody he bring, you know, I'm going to help them out and they going to make money. This was a promise between God and I that I made with God. So I kept my promise. Anybody he brought there and I ended up hiring them, I did what I could to help them, nurture them, mentor them, support them, market them, every other thing. And I'm sure that other salon owners have done this as well. A lot of the stylists were coming, didn't have a solid enough clientele to pay me a weekly booth rental, so I switched over to commission, and I made it, again, I helped. Did everything that I promised God, I kept my word, But, you know, again, it's very physical on your body. So when I branched out, when my stylists started leaving and opening their own storefronts, God bless them. I hope they be successful. And I wish them the best and all success in their businesses and families and whatever they do. They were all like family to me. In my heart, in my spirit, in my soul, they still are. But they were, to me, like family. But when you own a business, you have to be able to separate that, the personal, from the business. I mean, anytime you run a business, there's certain parameters that have to be followed. There's certain guidelines. It's all kind of laws out here that protect small businesses. So at the end of the day, whenever you have a small business, you know, there's things that you have to provide or you have to abide by. And, you know, it's a very fine line. You know what I'm saying? It's a fine line. And for you to be able to remain in business, even though you can become very close with your team or the people that work with you, it's still a fine line, and that you have to stay behind in order for you to be able to stay in business. But if you have a strong brand that you establish, you know, and then you have kept your word to God as to what you're going to do, he's going to perfect your brand every time. Once you sow those seeds and you keep the promises that you made to God, and he know every promise you made, he know every seed you made, he know the help you gave, whatever you did, whether it's bad or good with your business, God, he was right there watching, so he'll know at the end of the day. So your brand, whether you have 15 people working for your business or whether you got 3, as long as you do what you promise God you're going to do and you operate in integrity, you know, good morals and values, and professional, and you treat people, you know, how you want to be treated, God is going to be right there. Your brand will forever carry on. So my brand, you know, once I did not have a team anymore and it became just me, my brand was still strong. It still is. You know, I still get calls all the time from clients, new clients wanting to book with me. And I'm not on here trying to brag. I'm just talking about your promises that you make to God and the promises that you keep and the seeds that you sow. You know, they're always going to manifest the harvest God has promised us that they will. So as long as the earth remains, as long as it's day and night, as long as it's hot and cold, seed time and harvest shall remain. So whenever you sow seeds and you do right by people, God is going to always make sure that you're taken care of. You know, whether people are out here defaming you or whatever people may do. People may speak well of you and people may not. And to be honest, you guys, in all honesty, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, God saw every seed that you sow. And he has promised to manifest the harvest based on the seed you sow. Whether your seed that you sow was good seed or bad seed. He promised to produce a harvest, that it will produce a harvest, whatever seed that you sow. So anyway, been on my own working, doing hair. Now, if I had people helping me or if I had a team, I would still love that, because I would be still pouring in all this love, this support, this mentorship, this nourishment, the marketing, all of it. I would still do that. But in all honesty, I've tried it several times with people. A lot of times people are not, they may not be ready. It may be spiritually, physically, mentally. Sometimes people not ready. Sometimes people want to step out and they don't even bring, the necessities that they need to bring to the table. And you can try to give all the help that you want. If they not in their mind, they not ready, or they not serious, then it will definitely show up, because it will fizz out and phase out quick. No matter how much support, no matter how much nourishment, no matter how much encouragement, no matter how much you try to do, if a person is not ready to move to that next step, then it's going to show up every time, and it's not going to have anything to do with you. It's not going to be your fault at all, because sometimes you can be trying to help people and you don't see no manifestation of your help, because you guys, that's why God in the Word, he talk about the different grounds, stony ground, fallow ground, because you can sow a seed. You can go in your backyard right now and you can plant seeds to grow tomatoes or to grow collard greens. But if the ground is not good, you don't nourish the ground when you dig it up. And I'm in Georgia. Georgia got that red clay. If you don't dig up the ground and fertilize the ground and put everything that you need to put in the ground, so that when you put that seed in the ground, that seed is all warm and all fuzzy, all cuddly, and will produce the harvest that you're looking for. If you go out there and dig a hole for that seed and it got that hard red Georgia clay, you don't put no fertilizer in it, it's rocks down in there, and you plant that seed in there, you may see it spout out, but it's gonna die. It may sprout out, you may see it just break through, but it's only gonna live 2 days, a week or something like that, then it's gonna be dead. So that's why the Bible talks about the different grounds, because you can be sowing a seed into a person, but if the ground, the person that you're sowing in, if they're not ready for this next level or whatever, and the ground is fallow or stony ground, there's not going to be a harvest produced. Or it may seem like, okay, it's breaking through, she breaking through, he breaking through. They seem like they doing good, and then a month or two later, they kind of fizz out. And then they be like, oh, Miss Monya, I'm so sorry. Or, oh, whomever, wherever they may be working, I'm so sorry. So that's the importance of the different grounds that we sow the seed on. So you guys, like I said, this brand is still big. I just cannot do it all on my own. So my brand will still be out there. So almost 3 months ago, because the 5th of December will make 3 months that I've been working in corporate. I'm enjoying it. I like the structure of it. I was doing, it's hybrid. That's what you guys call it now. It's hybrid. And I was going in 3 days a week and working from home 2. But I think they just switched me over to working from home 3 days and going in the office 2. I was doing the 3 days going in the office because I was being trained. And so the December calendar, it looks like I'm going to be working from home 3 days of 2. So I love that better. It doesn't matter where I work, whether I'm home or in the office, I'm going to be productive. If I don't have any work to do, I'm going to hit up my manager or hit up a coworker and be like, girl, can y'all send me some work? I need something to do. I'm not one to just sit around and piddle my fingers together and just sit there and be none and void. That's just not me. So I have more integrity than that. So I'm going to always be trying to find some work to do. I think the management knows that, and my coworkers, they definitely know that. So it's all about us and our mindset. You know, I'm not going to let anyone hinder me one way or another. I'm going to always be productive because that's what a company hires me to do. And that's what I'm going to do every time, every day. So the retirement, that was me. With the going back into corporate, that was me trying to get off my legs, off my feet, off my body, give my body some type of break here, you know, go into corporate, and then just start working like going in a couple of days after work and then working all day Saturday. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been working, pretty well. Of course, a lot of my clients, they used to come on a weekday, 10 in the morning, so people are used to me being, available or having more availability. So I know that was a shock to my clients when I could pull back. But I had to do it, you guys, because some things you have to do for you. Self-love is big. Some things it's not personal against anybody. It's just, I start feeling my body, and God was like, you need to pull back. So I pulled back. So like I said, the 5th of this month of December, it will be 3 months I've been in corporate. So, but still, even though I'm in corporate and I'm just working those few days in the salon, it's still been very hard on my body. My body it seems like it's getting worse, like in more pain and stuff like that. And then too, I'm paying so much money just to work there pretty much 2 days in my salon suite. So I'm working all day Saturdays, but then on Wednesdays and Fridays, I'm just in there maybe 3 days on a Wednesday and on a Friday. Not 3 days, 3 hours. So on a Wednesday, I'm there about 3.5 hours. On a Friday, the same. So if you add it up, I'm really working 2 days and paying like over $1,300 a month, over $14 a month just to be in a salon suite 2 days. So I thought about, okay, well, let me see if one of these stylists in here may want to share their room, meaning just let me use their room, work in their room in their suite on days that they're not there, not working in there the same days they there. So I kind of thought about that. And then one of them, she's been asking me to work in her room with her for a while, since I first moved to the Swanee Salon Suites. And so I thought about that. And then another girl, she was like, well, you can move in my room. She asked me. And so then she kind of walked it back, I guess changed her mind or something like that, told me, she's gonna kind of start working in her, with the holidays, she's gonna work in her room more, whatever the case may be. So stuff like that, it don't offend me, because stuff like that, it just lets me know that God is telling me, okay. Because God, he'll tell you in little subtle ways, it be small ways. Sometimes it's not over the top big ways. So sometimes we'll think we have stuff figured out in our mind, and God will be, God telling me to retire, and yet I'm sitting here like, okay, well, maybe I can use, their room on the day, we come up with all these different scenarios, and then, God be like, wait a minute, I already told you, And so my thing is, I need to take care of me and take care of my physical body. And at the end of the day, the support that I get from my clients, people have been, when you retire, like some people, so I'm not surprised, because I know we're all human. We all have different emotions. We're entitled to have our different emotions and feelings. You know, God made us free moral agents where we can make our own decisions about how we respond to things, how we react, you know, the seeds that we sow, the energy that we put out there. You know, I've learned so much about people by just, you know, owning a business and just having the opportunity that God gave me to have a storefront business and service, you know, seeing all these customers coming in my salon, you know, and I'll have to do a video on that. But definitely I've learned so much about people. You see different people, and people have different behaviors, different personalities, different things that make them angry or not, things that make them really angry, and you may be shocked at why they so angry, or you know, different things that you think you may get a congratulations from, but you get just a okay, you know. And you know, but people are people, and God created us all to be free moral agents, and so you just learn a lot about people. But at the end of the day, even though I've learned so much about people, I've learned a lot about myself. Because when you own a business, you're going to get in a whole lot of different situations that you've never been in, that you've never experienced. And so the way that you handle these, whether it's in anger, whether it's in joy, whether it's in appreciation, however you respond and react, that's what God is looking at. He's not looking at that person that tried to trigger you or try to make you upset or try to, you know, do wrong by you or try to offend you. He ain't even looking at that. He already know how their behavior gonna be. He giving you a test so that you can fail or you can pass. And if you pass, you can go to the next level, because we always want to go to the next level but not be tested. You know, you have to take a test to go to the next level. You have to be tested and pass the test. Just like your child when they're in the 9th grade, they trying to go to the 10th, they got to take a test and pass. The same too when we want the things of God. So, you know, I learned so much about people. I've learned a lot about people. Some things will shock and amaze you. You know, people that do certain things, you know, you be shocked and amazed. You never may have seen it coming. You know, you see a lot. But at the end of the day, all of that stuff gives you an opportunity to learn about who you are. So you start to learn more about who you are. You can't point. Because like my husband's granddad always used to say, when you pointing one finger at somebody, you got 4 fingers pointing back at yourself. When you're pointing a finger at somebody, 4 fingers are pointing back at you. So that's just God's way of letting us know that we need to always be assessing ourselves and judging us. And so God wants us to always be judging ourselves. So what this one did, what Ray did, Shaniqua did, Shanae did, all of them did, or Jane Doe or whomever, what people did to you, me, or whomever people, you know, whatever we go through, we got to look at us. And we have to look at us. And we have to look at us every time. So this retirement, I'm talking about, I took a kind of like a little rabbit trail. So I'm going to make a part 2 of this because I try not to keep my videos too long. But just speaking on retirement, like taking a deep dive into what retirement is for me. So look for part 2 to come. I'm going to see you guys. Keep requesting videos. And I have not forgot about my wonderful, beautiful subscriber who wants me to do a video on scalp disorders and all of that. Look for that to come. I'll definitely be uploading that very soon. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Please click the bell. And if you're not a subscriber, if you're new to my channel, I have over 400 videos on this channel. A plethora of stuff about a variety of stuff. And consider subscribing. So thank you guys. Have a blessed week. I'm going to see you on my next video.